Jazz drummer Kesivan Naidoo was one of the first guests that we welcomed to Mela, and he shared his love of Tai Chi, tea and music with us, but not necessarily in that order.
Music does take first priority, and Kesivan mentioned that he and his band were working on a new album.
He promised to let us know when it was about to be released, so when the call came through that Kesivan and the Lights were about to launch an album, Tevin jumped at the opportunity to chat to a fellow percussionist and his colleagues about their music.
Kepi Moeketsi, Jonas Gangwa, Hugh Masakela and Abdullah Ibrahim are just some of the musicians who gave South African jazz its unique signature before the destruction of Sophiatown and the tragedy of Sharpeville. Oppression silenced the music.
It's long before my time, but from what I've heard, the jazz flame shone brightly across South Africa in the 1940s and 50s. But due to the onslaught of apartheid, it began to fade away. Then came the 90s, and with it the rebirth of jazz. Now today we're about to meet some people who have been illuminating South Africa for quite some time, and they are Kesivan and the Lights.
Brotherhood is a new album by the band, and the launch took place at a popular Cape Town jazz venue. The lineup features Kyle Shepherd on piano, trumpeter Faya Faku, saxophonist Justin Belez, Shane Cooper on bass and Riza Kota on guitar, with Kesivan behind his drums.
As a tabla player, I'm intrigued by the idea of a drummer forming a band. It's almost as if you have to lead from behind. Well, this is exactly what Kesivan Naidoo has done as the founder of Kesivan and the Lights. Kesivan, great to meet the musical maestro in person.
Excellent.
So you want to go have a chat?
Let's go to the bar, have a drink.
Let's go. Kesivan, welcome back to Mela. How did you come up with the name Kesivan and the Lights?
That was like a formation of an idea of mine for, like, based on the Art Blakey thought of having the jazz messengers. So I thought, as a drummer, might as well start a band that had this continuity of the drummer leading the band. So everybody that plays my music in this jazz context is called the Lights, so that's where Kesivan and the Lights come from.
You're all trained in the American jazz idiom. So how have you translated this into the South African context?
I was very fortunate to have played with some of the great South African jazz musicians like Winston Mankunku, Bekim Seleku, Miriam Makeba, all of these people, Hotep Galeta, and they've really forged my kind of sound and identity within this music. I think a special mention should be Zimlawana, who actually managed to make everything kind of like traditional yet free at the same time.
You draw from Western, Indian classical and African traditions. How do you put all this together in your jazz?
It's actually not as tricky as one thinks it is. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's still music. But the common factor for me is the ability to use those sounds and those traditions as a vehicle for expression within the realm of improvisation.
Now, Kesivan, as the leader of the band, tell us about your ideas of leadership.
My most important thing, I think, as being a leader is to allow the leadership within the rest of the group come through, and allow the space and the freedom for musicians that play with me to be themselves. I prefer 100% of somebody being themselves than a second hashed version of something else.
The band has enjoyed considerable amounts of success in the States.
I suppose it's every jazz musician's dream to play at Carnegie Hall, and I just did it in October. We received like a double standing ovation, which is really remarkable. And since then I've been offered many opportunities. So my supposed career in the United States is slowly starting to take shape, and I'm moving between South Africa and the States, and
nice. Kesivan, tell us about your new album, Brotherhood.
Brotherhood is just like, it's family, really. We, as jazz musicians, have to be on the road most of the time. We don't really have a stable base where you can just play the music for the rest of your life. You actually got to travel the world, and which is sometimes seen as glamorous, but a lot of the time it's quite difficult. And the people that you have to count on as your family is usually the members of your band. So that's the idea of Brotherhood.
What are the band's plans for the future?
I'm just grateful to be a musician in the first place. And so wherever the music takes me, I'll be there playing my heart out.
Kesivan draws on his jazz experience as well as Indian classical music. So we use like elements of ragas and odd time signatures like that you get in Indian music.
It's kind of like he's painting with his drums and he's kind of using us as colors.
It's not exactly your straight ahead run-of-the-mill stuff. So you really have to work at it and really lock as a band.
Freestyle jazz demands a bit more from the audience than casual listening, but Kesivan and the Lights struck a chord.
I think it's the music that touches me the most.
I really enjoyed the ambient experimental aspects of the jazz. I couldn't tell at any point if any of them were in the wrong key. Everything was really clean the whole time. I have to say Kesivan and the Lights is probably one of the best jazz bands I've seen for quite some time.
The show was very exciting. I was quite impressed the way Kesivan was playing. I've been following him for quite a long time.
I thought it was amazing, excellent. Love seeing Cape Townian jazz, it's great.